because South American and Central American countries are actually very religious and very Catholic. So they're going into religious countries with almost missionary fervor to go and try to make these countries less religious. And again, there is no separation of church and state. It's a fabrication. It's a fiction. It's not in the Constitution. It's made up by secular humanists. It's derived from a single letter.
The Constitution says the following: Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Charlie says secular humanists made the concept of church and separation up. So what is this then, if Charlie is right? That's the fabrication? Okay, prove it is a fabrication. Why do you want it to be bullshit? Suppose it is bullshit. How is it a bad thing and worth exposing? Also, as another YouTube uploader has pointed out, Charlie specifies secular humanists as if such people are bad. How are they bad? How is God good? They are of the devil? Again, how are secular humanists bad? Incomparable to the devil. How are Christians good?
That Thomas Jefferson wrote to the Danbury Baptist Convention. Of course, we should have church and state mixed.
Okay, and what did the letter from Jefferson say? And how was the fabrication a derivative of it?
Together, our founding fathers believed in that. We can go through the details of that.
Proof? Why should church and state be mixed? Because Charlie says so? And it's what the Republicans want? How is that a valid reason?
Established literally a church in Congress. Anyway, separate issue.
What fucking good would a congressional church do for America? By the way, which denomination should America be theocratized upon? Okay, that's the whole video. So, 30.
The clause or the amendment where separation of church and state is in the Constitution, just send it back to me. It's
Suppose someone took you up on that. Would you listen? Would you care? Would that make all of you and your batshit crazy cronies back off and let America be? Probably not, right? So why fucking bother even saying that?
nowhere. It's a phrase that Thomas Jefferson used in a single letter to the Danbury Baptist Convention that is actually taken out of context. It was resurrected by the...
Okay, I'll look into that. Okay, what is it? Okay, what did you say there?
Of context. It was resurrected by the atheist secular movement. A single letter to the Danbury Baptist Convention.
Okay, you sympathize with the Connecticut Baptists writing, believing with you that religion is a matter of lies. Okay, I guess this is the letter. If it isn't, well, maybe somebody can correct me if anybody that bothers to click on this video. I contemplate with sovereign reference that act of the whole American people which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state, adhering to this expression of supreme will of the nation in behalf of the rights of church and state. Okay, so what's he saying right here? Believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, that he owes account for none other for his faith or his worship, that the legitimate powers of government reach actions only, and not opinions. I contemplate with sovereign reverence that act of which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting establishment of religion or prohibiting thus building a wall of separation. So, no, this proves Charlie wrong. Charlie's completely full of shit on that. Thus building a wall of separation between church and state. Because Jefferson is saying that he believes with them that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, that he owes account to none other for his faith or his worship, that the legitimate powers of government reach actions only and not opinions. Jefferson contemplates with sovereign reverence that act of the whole of America. I don't know about the sentence poorly written here, which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting an establishment, thus building a wall. Yeah, Charlie's wrong. But obviously he wouldn't care even if he was to click on this video, so I just included that just for the hell of it. Moving on here.
That is actually taken out of context. It was resurrected by the atheist secular movement.
Oh, now it's resurrected. Ironic choice of term by Mr. Kirk here. This guy is all over the place with this shit. I'll say this. Suppose the Founding Fathers wanted a Christian nation, and the Constitution actually does declare that America should be mixed. Why do you Christians want this? What did the Founding Fathers get away from Europe that led them to discover America if they want a Christian land? Charlie claimed in the other clip that this concept was fabricated by secular humanists. Now he's claiming it's been taken out of context. I've just asked how Mr. Kirk would react if somebody sent him the excerpt. Well, this would be the answer. It's been taken out of context. Okay, so what is the actual context then? And is that actual context preferred?
In the 1960s and 70s by the Warren Court and the Burger Court to remove prayer in schools. The second thing you should send them the prayer that used to be in school. It was not a Jewish prayer. It was not a Christian prayer. And I'm paraphrasing, but you can look it up. It's very simple. I thank God that I am here today, that I pray for my classmates and my country and for the well-being of others.
You pray for the well-being of others, but you trash secular humanists? What the fuck is that about? Is God concerned about the well-being of people in this life? In heaven he would be? Well, do people need well-being in heaven? What? Why is this prayer important, and how does this prayer prove you right, if it has nothing to do with Christianity or Judaism? I don't understand what Charlie's point here is.
Paraphrasing. It's a Unitarian prayer. It was not a Christian prayer. It wasn't a Muslim prayer. It was a Unitarian prayer, and it wasn't even mandatory. In fact, what it was doing, it was trying to get students to take a pause and realize that there's a vertical relationship to their existence. So you should ask a question, hey, just wondering, should we remove mentions to God in our founding documents too? Because then they'll say, well, there is no mention to God. Well, then how would you say to ordain the blessings of liberty? Who are we ordaining it to exactly?
Yes, the Constitution does mention God, and that would indeed be a flaw. None of them were atheists, though. If they were alive today, who knows what you Christians would have done to them? Of course, if they'd been around all this time, America would probably be entirely different from the shit show circus it's become today. As for the anchored notion of removing God, is the Constitution about you Christians? Why does that threaten you? Why do you want God included in it? Is anybody even complaining about the mention of God in the Constitution? That should be a hint to Charlie that the authors intended America to be free to be either religious or not, which would therefore mean religion is to be kept a personal faith and not political. Why do you Christians insist that rights be ordained by God? Why can't rights just be a natural part of being a member of society, which is my ideal? Such a desperate grasp at straws here.
Zeus? How about the four mentions of God in the Declaration of Independence?
Allah?
Laws of nature and nature is God. We do swear this oath to each other and our Creator. And so we've been kind of hypnotized to believe in this lie of separation of church and state. What it does say, but it's miscategorized, is that
Charlie asserts that separation is a lie, but he hasn't made any valid points or arguments. In fact, I just debunked it to back it up. All he could do is ask the audience to send him the part of the Constitution that says it, while he claims the concept to be made up in the other video.
Congress shall make no law.
Here, Charlie.
What are they talking about? Make no law having an official state religion, and also make no law abolishing religion or the church.
And right here he thinks he thinks he nailed it. Yeah, to abolish laws that enable rights to religious activities would be eliminating people's religious freedoms, jackass. That doesn't mean America is to be a mix of church and state. To mix them is to eliminate non-religious freedom. A propaganda straw man.